Have you ever wondered how the light bulb was invented? You know, the thing that brings light into our homes, allows us to see in the dark, and makes it possible for us to stay up late playing video games or watching TV. Well, if you're wondering who invented the light bulb and how they did it, then this is the video for you. Because today we'll be taking a look at the story of one of the most famous inventors of all time, Mr. Thomas Edison. Now, before we get started, I want to remind you of something really important. This is something that Thomas Edison once said. It's one of his famous quotes, and it goes like this. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. I want you to remember these words because they are very important, and they can teach us an important lesson about Thomas Edison and how he invented the light bulb. So with that being said, let's take a look at Thomas Edison and how he invented the light bulb. The story of Thomas Edison is truly an amazing one. From a very young age, he was always curious about how things work. He would take apart old clocks and watches just to see what was inside them. And he even built his own telegraph machine when he was just 12 years old. But his first real invention came when he was just 14. You see, while he was working on his father's farm, he noticed that animals often got injured and sometimes even died because the farmer could unsee them in the dark. So Thomas decided to invent something that could help. And that's when he created an automatic cattle shed door that opened and closed by itself. He also created an alarm system that went off when someone entered the shed. And although these inventions didn't make him rich, they did make him famous in his local area. And it was this fame that led him to move to New York City and start his own business. In the beginning, he had very little success. He even went bankrupt once, but he didn't give up. Instead, he continued to work hard, and eventually he started to make some money. By the time he was 30, he was a millionaire, and he could have easily stopped there and enjoyed the rest of his life, but he didn't. Instead, he kept working, and eventually he became one of the most successful inventors of all time. But this is where things get interesting, because it wasn't easy for Thomas Edison to become successful. In fact, he once said, "I have not failed 10,000 times. I have not failed 1,000 times. I have failed 10 times. But every time I have failed, I have learned a little more about what will not work." And so the failures were not failures at all. Now I want you to think about this for a moment. Thomas Edison was trying to invent the light bulb, and he wanted to create something that would bring light into people's homes. But in order to do this, he had to try many different things and experiment with different ideas. And every time he tried something and it didn't work, he felt like he had failed. But instead of giving up, he used each failure to learn more about what wouldn't work. And he kept trying until he finally succeeded. It took him years to invent the light bulb, and during that time he made over 1,000 failed attempts. But he never gave up. And it was because of this that he was able to invent one of the most useful inventions of all time. If he had given up after just a few failed attempts, then we wouldn't have electricity or light bulbs today. And this is why I want you to remember his words. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. So now I want to share with you the secret behind Thomas Edison's success, and that is that he never gave up, no matter how many times he failed. He kept trying, and it was because of this that he was able to invent the light bulb. And this is the lesson that we need to learn from Thomas Edison. Never give up, no matter how difficult things may seem. You see, in today's world, we are constantly faced with challenges, whether it's trying to get a job, trying to find a partner, or trying to achieve any of our goals. There will always be obstacles in our way. But the important thing is not to give up. We must keep trying and never lose hope. Just like Thomas Edison, we may not succeed on our first attempt, but that doesn't mean we should quit. Instead, we should learn from our failures and use them to improve ourselves. We should use them to make us stronger and more determined than ever before. For example, if you want to get a job, you may face many rejections, and interview after interview. You might feel like giving up, but that's when you need to remember Thomas Edison's words. Keep trying. Or if you want to find a partner, you may have been through many failed relationships and heartbreaks, but you shouldn't give up on love. Instead, you should keep trying to find the right person for you. Remember, just like Thomas Edison, we may not succeed on our first attempt, but that doesn't mean we should quit. We should learn from our failures and use them to improve ourselves. We should use them to make us stronger and more determined than ever before. So never give up on your dreams, no matter how difficult things may seem. Always remember that success is just around the corner. You just need to keep trying. And who knows, you may just be one step away from achieving your goal. So don't give up. Keep trying and never lose hope. And when you do succeed, make sure to help others along the way. That's what Thomas Edison did. He didn't just invent the light bulb for himself, but for everyone else in the world. So if you're successful, help others and make the world a better place. That's what Thomas Edison would have wanted. So with that being said, let's go back to the story of Thomas Edison and how he invented the light bulb. After making over 1,000 failed attempts, Thomas Edison was starting to lose hope. He thought that maybe it was impossible to invent a light bulb. But then one day, while he was experimenting with different materials, he had a breakthrough. He realized that if he used a thin piece of metal and put it in a special solution, then heated it up very carefully, it would glow. And that's exactly what he did. He created the first light bulb that could be used safely and efficiently. Of course, this was only the beginning. It took him many more attempts to make the light bulb as bright and long-lasting as possible. But eventually he did it, and he was able to create the light bulb that we use today. And this is an amazing accomplishment. To think that one man was able to invent something that has brought light into billions of homes around the world is truly amazing. But this is where things get even more interesting. Because after Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, he didn't keep it a secret. Instead, he shared it with the world. He wanted everyone to have access to this invention, and that's why today we have light bulbs in our homes, on our streets, and in our workplaces. And this is the lesson that we need to learn from Thomas Edison. When we invent something or discover something new, we should share it with the world. We should not keep it a secret, but instead make it available to everyone. Think about it. If Thomas Edison had kept the light bulb a secret, then only he would have had access to it, and the world would still be in darkness. But because he shared it with the world, we are able to see in the dark and do all the things that require light. So if you ever invent something or discover something new, make sure to share it with the world. Who knows? It could change the world for the better. So this is the story of Thomas Edison and how he invented the light bulb. It's a story of hard work, determination, and the importance of never giving up. And it's a story that we all need to hear today. The next time you're facing a challenge, remember Thomas Edison and his words. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. Don't give up. Keep trying and never lose hope. Success is just around the corner. You just need to keep going. And that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the story of Thomas Edison and how he invented the light bulb. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this. And if you have anything to add to the story, please leave it in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.